on to bag D, so open it up, and in there's, you'll see that it lists several bags. Bag D4, which I didn't see marked. Actually, I'm sorry, it did. It's D4, it has all this bearings, bolts, pins, etc. Then you have D1, D2, D3, and they're not marked, but it's thrust bearings, head, and some other stuff. And then talks about D5, which has your mixer arms, and then the rest of your head parts. So we're going to get that stuff out of the way for now. All right. Go ahead and dump your D4 bag into a parts tray so you have it. There's also some shims that are part of that, so let's not lose those. Dump those into your tray. Okay. And the next step is to start on the washout. So we need to get those parts, 2 plastic mixer arms, elbow arm, washout block, and let's go ahead and get the parts out of here. I'll come back and review, and let's start that. Okay, so to build the washout, what we need is 2 of the plastic arms, 2 of the balls. All the balls in this bag are the same size and length. 2 pins. Now be careful, in here are 2 all-thread rod that may look like the pins, but don't get the all-thread rod. 4 of the smaller shouldered bearings. What I mean by that is if you look, there's a shoulder on the little bearing, okay? There's a couple more of those in there that obviously will be used later. Make sure you get the 2mm, small diameter screws, not 3mm, and make sure they're the 10mm long ones, okay? You got to get that right because there's a couple of 2mm in there that are shorter. We don't want those. Okay, and the washout block, of course, and the elbow arms. So the first step on this is to take one of the mixer arms, and let's go ahead and put the balls on. Now the ball goes on the long end of the mixer arm with the ball away from this shouldered area, all right? So it goes in this way. Drop a CA in the hole. You might want to thread it on first just to make the threads, pull it out, and then put the CA on the hole so you don't get it crooked or something. Get it started straight, make threads, that kind of thing. Take it back out, put the CA, screw it back in. So let's get both balls on there. Then additionally, this is pretty straightforward. Take the shouldered bearing with the shoulder out, okay, won't go any other way, and go ahead and press those on the mixer arms, okay? So that basically we've got a set of mixer arms ready to go with bearings and balls on, and let's go to the next step. So do that, we'll come back, review, and continue on. Okay, there we go. We got the bearings in, ball on. Note the orientation, ball. Okay, now we're going to do the elbow arms. Now the way this works is the pin fits tightly into the mixer arm, okay? But on the elbows, it fits smoothly. Make sure yours just slides in real easy, okay? If it's tight on this shaft, a couple other things, just sorry, real quick. If there's any flashing from the molding process sticking in here, clean that up now with an X-Acto, all right? And make sure your pin fits. If your pin doesn't fit loosely in here, very loosely, then your elbows might be a little tight. If it is, just take a little round file and clean out the hole. I didn't have to do that to anything. So the bottom line is, the mixer arm goes on in this orientation. Ball, bend in the elbow, and they should be on the same side of this arm, okay? Do not put it on this way, obviously, because that's backwards. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that, and then go ahead and press the pins into the mixer arm through the elbow and get them balanced on each side. We'll come back and review. Okay, there we go. Arms made per the manual. Now, interestingly enough, I want to point something out. Again, the ball oriented with the elbow arm. See, ball oriented with the elbow arm. Elbow points toward the ball. Now, on my elbow arms, I notice when I go ahead to build this up, they want the flange down toward the main gear and the arm to go on like this so that the elbow arm is in line with the main shaft. See that? However, if you look, that's going to put this link backwards, okay? This, if you look at other links, there's this dish shape on the outside and a smaller hole on the inside, and that puts it on the swash plate backwards. I'll show that later. But their plans show the dish here going on the ball and the smaller hole out. I mean, that's just the drawing. So, no big deal. What I'm seeing is that they go on the opposite way, but the ball link sizing tool will do the trick. Let's make sure we don't oversize this, and it will go on a little hard on the ball because the smaller diameter hole of the link is going on. Not sure why that's occurring. Maybe Gerardo can answer that, but the bottom line is we'll get it on there and we'll get it sized and make it work. So the next step is let's go ahead, put a screw in. Now, real quick, on the washout block, it is plastic, but unlike some of the other parts, the screw goes in very easy. We don't want to use Loctite unless this is made of some kind of plastic that supports it, but we are going to put a drop of CA in there. Now let's get a drop of CA in the hole, and let's not let it be spread around on the shoulder that's on the block, okay? Because this is what keeps the arm from rubbing on the block, spaces the bearing out. If we get it on there, we got a good chance of getting in the bearing. We don't want to do that. So we want to put some CA in the hole, clean it off, then go ahead, put the screw in, and go ahead and tighten it up. Now, per the manual, it says do not over-tighten this because it is fitting like a machined screw into metal. Since it's plastic, if we over-tighten this, it's going to strip. Okay, so let's just snug it up, little 1/8 of a turn, and that's about it. The CA will do its job and act as a Loctite. Okay, so let's go ahead and get those on. We'll come back and review. Okay, there we have it. Note the orientation of the arms. The flange coming off the washout block is toward the main gear. These elbow arms go this way, which, as I pointed out, seemed backwards to me, but it worked out. I did have to size these. I sized them. I inserted the tool instead of from the side that the ball will go on for the swash, the side that has this ring around it, and I did size them. So basically at this point what you do is let's go ahead and put the washout on. Again, flange on the base toward the swash plate. Okay, go ahead and put that on, and if you sized your links, go ahead and snap them on to your swash plate. Okay, and double check that everything is free. What you should be able to do is slide these two arms up and down, and everything should be free. If you recall, back when I inserted the main shaft, I cleaned up this main shaft with some 600 grit sandpaper, but you should be able to easily move that washout block and those arms up and down on the main shaft. If you over tighten these screws, it can bind up the bearings. Maybe you have one arm too tight. Real quick, let me remove this, and I will show you how free the arms should be on the washout block, like so. They should spin relatively easy, just a flick of the finger, even lightly. See that? And they shouldn't feel notchy at all. All right, so go ahead and get that on there. We'll continue on.